Hey y'all, so I'm back with another video. I'm doing an updated flip over quick weave tutorial. I just feel like it was needed. It's a new year, new summer. So yes, let's get into it. So y'all know I always like to start off with us blowing our hair out so that it's easier to comb through, easier to manage, and then I moved into the baby hairs. I didn't show y'all blowing the hair out because I feel like that's a repetitive step, and it's just kind of something that's mandatory that we all know how to do. I feel if y'all want me to keep including that, just comment and let me know. But I jumped right into the baby hairs. Do not forget, y'all, to use that heat protectant. We do not play about our heat protectant and our hair pattern. So yes, spray that and then jump into your baby hairs. And I just kind of did my baby hairs how I wanted them to be done. So this is kind of a freestyle part, but I'm just showing you how to make them soft and still kind of have like that frontal like kind of look with it being natural, if y'all get what I'm saying. But yes, I'm just really showing y'all how to make them soft, last long, and still appear to look super natural. I do spray heat protectant because we are about to hot comb the baby hair. I like to hot comb them because it makes them look more sleek, I guess you can say. If you were to try to lay your baby hairs down while your hair is in its natural state, it'll appear to look wavy, and I like that smooth, you know, baby hair type of look, and you'll see exactly what I mean once we finish. But yes, you want to start off with pressing them out. I am using a Marcel hot comb. That's all I use. If you have the plug up version, that still works the same way, but just make sure you're hot combing your edges before applying any type of product. I did go in and I hot combed the roots a little bit of the hair that I know I'm going to be leaving out, just because it just gives a better look in my opinion. I don't know, I like that smooth coming out the root type of look instead of my roots being I don't want to say nappy because I'm trying not to say that for us as far as black women, but y'all know what I mean, just in its natural state, I guess you can say. So then we're gonna go in with the even spray. I still use even, y'all, I'm so sorry, but it just works so good. But I spray a very like light amount, maybe about, for reference, about 2 sprays, maybe like just quick sprays directly on the hair that you're about to lay down. You don't want the spray to go anywhere else. If it does, that's okay, but you're really aiming to spray it on the baby hair. Now this spray dries really fast, which is another reason why I like to use it. So it's best to have your baby hairs mapped out before you apply the spray. So you saw, if you go back a couple seconds, I was kind of brushing the baby hair in the direction that I wanted to go, so that once I do put the spray on there, I'm really just moving it where it needs to be placed. I'm trying to explain this right. But just make sure you're moving fast when it comes to this step. Moving fast, having your baby hairs already mapped out will help you to achieve that look that you want. Now you don't want to overspray. You don't want to continue spraying over and over again in the same area. That's when the baby hair will start to get crunchy, hard, and it just won't have that natural soft type of look. So you really want to make sure you're getting it right the first time. Another reason why I like to do the baby hairs first before taking out the leave out, because this is going to let you know exactly the amount of hair that you need to cover up the tracks. You never know how much baby hair you're going to use, how much baby hair you're going to need. So it's best to just get that out the way first, so your leave out could just be free game, a free for all. So then we're going to go and do the exact same thing on the opposite side. You really just want to brush out the hair so it's going in a direction that you want it to go. So then you can really just finish the job once you sprayed it on there. As you can see, I did let it dry maybe like a few seconds. I really wouldn't say let it dry for too long. You want to be molding the baby hair the whole time while it's drying. To me, that's just a better look at the end. You want to keep brushing, keep molding the baby hair until it's completely dry. I really love Even because it doesn't contain a lot of alcohol, so it's not as harsh. So your baby hairs are gonna last, but they're not gonna last as long like if you were using like some Gorilla Snot or Got To Be, you know, stuff like that. So I like it because it keeps our hair still very, very soft. Now it's time to section out our leave out. Y'all know I live by the comb method. I've literally been doing this since I was 14 years old, using this comb to see like, is this enough hair? Because I feel like that's the biggest thing with, you know, being a hairstylist, is leaving out either too much or too less. I like to leave out the right amount. Nothing more, nothing less. So make sure y'all are using the comb method. When it comes to a flip over, it does get a little different for me, because you don't need a lot of hair for the flip over. The hair should be so big and so full that your leave out is literally just so that you don't have tracks showing, if that makes sense. I literally leave out the thinnest amount. So if you can see the comb just a tiny bit between my hair, don't panic. It's okay. It's okay if it's still like that with your own leave out too. Keep in mind, I did press my roots out, so my roots are going to be a little thinner rather than thick. So yeah, so I like to be able to see the comb a little bit when it comes to the flip over, because the hair I use is so big and you don't want that difference to show between your leave out and your hair. You really don't. Even if you cut the hair to frame your face, your leave out is going to stick out like a sore thumb. So it's best to use very, very minimum hair to cover up the tracks. So now we're going to move into molding the hair down. I live by all my old school products: Blue Magic, Pink Oil Moisturizer, all of it. This is what I grew up using, and it just always worked for me. And I'm kind of a person where I feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? So you want to go ahead and rub about like a quarter size handful amount of Pink Oil Moisturizer all through your hair. This is depending on how much hair you have. If you have more hair than me and it's longer and it's thicker, baby, double up on the amount of pink oil that you are using. So for the amount of hair that I have, and the fact that we are doing big hair for an install, I did one large braid instead of doing 2 to 3 multiple braids. As long as the foundation is flat, that's really our main goal here. I do use olive oil gel. Sometimes you're going to see that in some of my past videos when it comes to quick weaves. I really like to use that because it keeps the mold down. So I use that on the roots. You're going to see me do that. I just wanted y'all to be prepared for that clip. Y'all see how flat that is? That is the look that you want. Right here is when I took the gel and I rubbed some on top, and I'm taking the comb just to really get the gel in the hair and just make sure that mold is real secure. Then I'm gonna I said hop, I don't know what I'm talking about, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cap on. And this time I am doing a double cap method. I just feel like it lasts longer and it's an easier takedown. I feel like when we're using one cap, as far as my caps personally, I use very, very thin caps, so I feel like the mold is kind of on the hair, so I decided to double cap. Anyway, we are going to go in with our liquid cap and just rub that all the way around the cap, and then do not forget to secure the edges with some hair glue. The whole perimeter of the cap, you want to secure it with hair glue just to make sure the cap really doesn't go anywhere. Now I'm about to show y'all one of the 2 blending options that you can use. This is FLEXI rods. I feel like doing this now while you install your tracks and everything else is good, so you can give it time to curl and time to sit in your hair. I do spray my hair with hairspray first. That I feel like that just makes the FLEXI rod last a little bit longer. I just love hairspray, y'all. I feel like it just make the leave out just last. I use either Kenra or a Chi. This is the size FLEXI rod I'm using. It's literally like half the size of a finger. It's like the smallest ones they have. I do flat iron it first just so it can have a little bit of heat and just so it could look a little bit better, because with it being a straight curl versus a natural curl from your natural hair texture. So yes, I put at least about 5 FLEXI rods in the front. I am going to leave a small amount just to show y'all the second option that you have. This is just the heatless option. The second one involves adding heat to your hair, and I highly recommend doing the heatless option because I feel like this is a protective style. So as you can see, I take a very small amount of hair. I'm twisting it and wrapping it simultaneously around the rod. You want to do the same thing to every single rod. The rods on the side, I do have them coming towards my face versus the ones in the middle, I have them curling towards the back. That makes a difference in how your hair is shaped and which way it is going. The hair on the sides are most likely going to fall in your face, coming towards your face, while the tracks in the middle are going to lay going towards the back. That's where the flip over begins and ends. So you want the hair, your leave out in that area, to go towards the back too. So you'll see what I mean once I start to take them out. Just pay attention to the direction that the curl is going. That is very, very important. And I'll also show you guys the curling iron. I'll have it linked below and all of that if y'all want to choose that route. So now we're going to get into the track placement. I really just start off installing them just normal, going side to side, ear to ear. You really want to start to pay attention the most once I get closer to my face. I'm getting closer to the top. That is what is going to be the big difference between a flip over quick weave and a regular quick weave. And that is going to show you what makes this a flip over, how it becomes a flip over, how you're going to be able to flip it over. So just pay attention to how I'm installing the tracks on the sides, how I'm laying them, how I'm curving them, and mainly that top portion, that area. As you can see, as I'm getting closer to the top, I'm slightly curving them so that it'll have that illusion that it's in my face. You know what I mean? But just a slight curve, not a full curve, until you start to get towards the top. And you see that little piece that I just tapped? That was me trying to show y'all that whenever you are even curving the track, you want it to be so close to the previous track that you laid, so that when it is time to flip it, it has an illusion that no track is there because they're so close together. Now pay attention to this part. You see how I have it curved already before even laying it, and how close I'm laying it next to that previous track. You see how it's falling in my face, but I also could flip it back, flip it over. It's still that curve when you're placing the track is really important. If you were to just lay it straight across, you wouldn't get that same outcome. Now just take a look right here. You see the square that we have left? That's how you know you're following the right steps, you're doing it the right way. So if you see like that square that we have, we're gonna start filling that up by just going straight across, back to back, back to back. Just so we can give that flip over vibe, and so that it won't be going in your face too much. It's really going towards the back. In a second is when we're going to stop curving the tracks in the front. It's probably going to be one of the last tracks, but you see how I curved it a little bit, so it's going in my face, but it's not. So right here, this is the amount of space that you want to have when it's time to stop curving the tracks, and when it's time to really start laying the tracks going side by side, going back to back. So this is the amount of space you want to have when it's time to stop curving, just for reference. So this is where it gets really, really simple. You're just literally laying the tracks side by side, filling in the space. If you have to curve just a tiny bit, just on those edges so that the tracks aren't showing. This install is all about illusion. It's all about illusion. So the reason why we're also laying it going towards the back in this specific area is so that you can flip it over but also wear it going towards the back. Like if you wanted to do like a headband or a half up, half down, it gives versatility for all of that. Another tip that I wish I knew in the beginning was not to fill this part up too much though. You want the tracks to be enough just to cover up the previous track. You don't want it to be super duper full right here. Otherwise it just won't look that natural in my opinion. And when I say super duper full, I mean like stuffing the tracks in this one area. Like you don't have to do that. It can literally just be enough to cover up the previous track. I did forget to mention in the beginning, y'all, that these are tracks from a previous install. So the face framing is already kind of cut in some areas, but I am going to add some more. And that's also why you saw the tracks cut really small at the top. I don't recommend cutting the tracks that small. It was just, I had already installed this hair before, so they were already cut. So I just installed them the way that they came. It's now time to remove the FLEXI rods. This is the type of curl that it came out as. I knew that it would match the curl texture that I already have. So normally, y'all, I would recommend spraying the back of your hair, wetting that first before taking your FLEXI rods out. It was really late this night, y'all. I think I was just ready to go. But when it comes to your hair, though, please, y'all, wet the back of your hair first, the bundles first, just so that you won't accidentally get one of like a piece of your hair wet. Because once it gets wet, you're gonna have to restart the whole little process depending on how your hair gets when it's wet. So this is a quick weave, and to remove this quick weave you do need water. So I do refrain from like spraying my roots that much. I try to really get the hair wet, not so much the track. That is the key here. And to damply like spray it, like lightly spray it. So I do that to the top just to have that flat look, and to blend in the leave out, I take the even spray, I spray it directly on the brush, and I brush my leave out into the hair. I even brush it all the way to the end just so the curl is getting blended in with the curl of the bundle, if that makes sense. It's all about an illusion, y'all. It's all about an illusion. So I did have to like play with my tracks at the top to make sure that it's going in the right way and no tracks are showing, all of that good stuff. So now I'm going to show y'all the second option that you have to blend in your leave out, which is with this curling iron. Check the description for the link, but it curls so fast, y'all, like so fast. I don't even have to have it on there for 10 seconds, like so fast. And that's the curl pattern that it gives. The same as the FLEXI rod, might be a little tighter, honestly. So yeah. Another way you can do it is curling your hair with a piece of the bundle hair, just so it can really have that illusion. But since I've installed this hair already, I already knew like it gets so big that my leave out barely even exists because it covers it up. But that is another option so that your leave out doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. I do personally like to keep brushing my leave out back. I like for it to give like a brat style type of look, and like they hair be kind of like sitting out and shaped a certain way. So that's the kind of look I was going for. That's why I keep on brushing my leave out into the hair. Now just to bring my curl pattern back a little bit more, I am wetting it in some spots. Now last but not least, I do like to add Nairobi, any type of mousse really, only at the top of the hair, only at the top. That is so that it stays flat and you won't have to keep applying water to your tracks. You know, eventually they will slip out. So I like to do the mousse because the mousse just keeps it flat and kind of like stuck at the top, because that's why I don't recommend putting the mousse all throughout the hair. It has a lot of alcohol and it can make your hair stiff. But I don't mind the top of my hair being stiff because I don't want it to move. I like for it to stay looking flat and natural all day as if it's mine. So that is another tip you can do, but try to refrain from wetting the hair so much with the spray bottle. However, y'all, that is it. It's all I have for today. Let me know what y'all think. Like if the music too loud, y'all want more details, y'all want me to slow it down, a longer video, any feedback. These videos are for y'all, so I don't mind a constructive criticism. But I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you for watching.
Unconditional, got me leaving softly. Yeah, yeah. Love me, yeah, yeah. Love me, tender. You know you love turn me up like never. Anything you want and I'ma do whatever. Because I love and I love and I love and I love you only. Because I need and I need and I need and I need you more. Yeah, you know I run and I run and I run and I run. Fly in the sky, hold me in your arms and your love and your life. I'm on your